This is the review worksheet, Conic review worksheet number 8. Okay, so x squared minus y squared plus 4x minus 14y, and I'm going to go ahead and move the 109 to the other side. Okay, so I know right away that this is a hyperbola because it is subtraction. Two squared variables, it could be an ellipse, a circle, or a hyperbola, but it's subtraction and that overrules all. Okay, so I'm going to group the x's and complete the square. I'm going to group the y's and complete the square, and let's see what happens. X squared plus 4x. Okay, so I'm going to take half of b and square it, which is 4. And then factor out the -1, so it's going to be minus y squared plus 14y. And again, I'm going to take half of b and square it. And that's going to be 49. Okay, I do need to do something to the right-hand side, but as you can see on the screen, I am out of room. So, let me close that again. That doesn't look so good. Okay, so now I'm going to factor, and I'm going to get x plus 2 quantity squared minus y plus 7 quantity squared, and that's going to equal to 109 plus 4 plus 49. So that gives me x plus 2 squared minus y plus 7 quantity squared equals 158 plus 4. 162, that doesn't seem right. That's 53, yeah, 162. Okay, so this is really nasty. If I made a mistake, you can't tell me. Obviously, I can't hear you. Nope, it's not plus 49. That's the mistake. This should be minus 49. And the reason why it's minus, let me add just a few more colors here. When you subtract and you distribute, that's minus 49. So that would be the mistake I made. Let me try to erase that. There we go. So this would be, let's see, minus 50. That's 113. Oh, 113 minus 49 is 0. 64. Yeah, that sounds good. It's a nice perfect square number. 64. Okay. I'm going to divide everything by 64 to put everything in standard form. So this is going to become x plus 2 quantity squared minus y plus 7 quantity squared. Divide by 64, divide by 64, and that's going to equal to 1. So some books, teachers, people, whatever, leave it this way. I would say the majority are going to write it as 1 whole quantity squared. All right, so the center of this hyperbola is going to be at -2, -7. So then you might say, well, wait, what about the subtraction sign here? Doesn't that become positive 7? And the answer is no. You cannot distribute that subtraction sign. That subtraction tells you it's a hyperbola. And since we're here, it's a hyperbola that opens in the x direction. So this is going to open right, left. Okay, so the center is at -2, -7. My vertices, I'm going to move in the x direction 8. So my vertices are going to be at -2 plus 8, -7, -2 minus 8, -7, which of course is 6, -7, and -10. negative 7. Okay, asymptotes. Use point-slope form. It's by far the easiest. So, you know a point. The point is negative 2, negative 7. Okay, and the slope is always rise over run. So that's the y radius over the x radius, which in this case is 8 over 8, which is 1. So the asymptotes are at y plus 7 equals positive, which you don't need the positive sign, x plus 2, or y plus 7 equals negative x plus 2. So those are your asymptotes. The last thing we need to find are the foci. So in a hyperbola, the foci are found using a squared plus b squared equals c squared, or in this case, the x radius squared plus the y radius squared equals c squared. And c represents the focal distance. So that's going to be 64, 64, 128. And that is 64, 8 root 2. Okay, and again, this represents the focal distance. And that occurs from the center. So if my center is at, I already lost it. The center is at negative 2, negative 7. And this is an x hyperbola, meaning it opens right and left. So in the x direction from the center. So the center, the x coordinate of the center is negative 2. So the foci are going to be at negative 2 plus or minus 8 root 2 negative 7. Oops. Sorry. There we go. All right. There you go.